Sex, sexuality, sexual, lustful, desiring, full thoughts, sexuality, sex. And I was in grade 4, my teacher made the whole class say sexual things. Why? Because he thought it would be helpful for us to get rid of our shame about this sexuality. And we were very mature, and everyone had to say either a body part or some little sexual thing. So sex, okay, that's what it reminds me of. Sex, sex, sex. I hope I got your attention. Sex. Hope I got your attention out there, wherever you are. And we're going to talk about it. Sex. Some Buddhist master. This is a Buddhist master talking about sex and sexuality. And we're going to explore this topic. We're going to deep dive into this whole situation. It's 12 a.m. midnight here. So I'm a little bit peaceful, woozy, because I need to almost sleep. And no better time to talk about sex. Sex. Okay, sex. No one's gonna watch this video anyway, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, sex. So sexuality, sexual thoughts. Sex and sexuality. We're gonna get through this. Sex, sexuality. Sex. Yes, it's funny because sex is a powerful thing, powerful instrument. You came out of sex because of sex. It's only because of sex that you're here, and your parents did the sexy time, and thankfully because they were sexy together. So your parents did the sexy time. They didn't use protection. They were unprotected. And poof, here you are. Because of their sexy time. So we thank our parents for being horny. And for bringing us here. And sex is a powerful thing. Because it brings you into this world. It brings a human being into this world. And what's more powerful than sex? Food and sleep. Food and sleep are the most dominant things on earth. So many people think that sexuality is the biggest obstacle in spiritual path. No, it's actually food and sleep. If there were obstacles, food and sleep can't be an obstacle. You just take care of your body, eat the right foods, sleep the right amount. That's it. And then comes sex, sexuality. So when you've eaten well and you've slept well, then you can think about reproduction and lustful thoughts. But beforehand, if you are eating poorly and sleeping badly, these things, sexual thoughts don't come into your mind. So these are two things that are more powerful than sexuality. And sexuality is very powerful. That's why you shouldn't just go blatantly sleep with random strangers, because you can have the possibility of impregnating someone, and that has consequences, intended and unintended consequences. It's a very serious thing with a lot of responsibility, so you should treat it with respect. Also, you don't want to just jump into any body. It's like if I walk down the street, I do, in Auckland, this city that I'm in, and I'm a vegan, I eat a mainly vegan diet, or all vegan diet. I'm very choosy with the restaurants that I go to. And naturally, because I can't go to all restaurants, I'm very particular. Where should I go? And some vegan restaurants, or some restaurants that serve vegan food, I don't want to enter. Why? Because it looks, the energy's bad, and the people that are working there, not that I don't look at their faces. I'm not judging them based on how they look, but I can feel the place, what's happening. And the people are creating the feelings, the energy that's around the whole atmosphere and in the building. So I don't feel good even walking into that place. The energy feels bad. And I know the food will be bad, meaning it won't be conducive to me. It won't be energetically pleasing for me to eat. So I'm very choosy in that way. So I go to pleasant restaurants and pleasant atmospheres, and where the food is pleasant and safe to eat. So just in the same way, I wouldn't want to enter anybody's body just because why they have a vagina. That's a little bit irresponsible for me. And also it's a little bit, yeah, I can't do that. I can't just enter any restaurant, and I also can't enter just any woman. That's wrong. Why? Because, you know, at the restaurant, you go into a restaurant and you accumulate the people's energies, whatever that they are, whoever they are, it starts to seep into you. If they created a pleasant and conducive atmosphere, it's okay. But some restaurants are kind of just people are running them and whatever, and maybe hygiene isn't the highest thing in their standards, so it's unpleasant to be in that environment. And similarly with people too, there's no exception. So you might be going on a one-night stand and you're sleeping with somebody and you're drawing in that person's energy, so it's not wise, not conducive. Anyways, sex. So let's talk more about sex. Let me get my notebook here, and let's see. Hopefully I can get my friend to laugh more because of sexuality and sexual thoughts and sexy time. Okay, so next is fire of lust. Sexuality is like a fire. Lust is a fire. So the digestive fire is the strongest fire, one of the strongest fires, we'll say, because when your stomach is hungry and when you put food in the stomach, it's a burning process, it's a fire. Similarly with lust. So when you put food into the system, you give the ability for the fire of sensuality or for the fire of reproduction or the fire of lust to burn. And it only burns when you put food in. So the Buddha said that there's no fire like lust. And why is it so powerful? Why is it such an intense burning sensation? Well, because, my friends, nature wants you to reproduce. This is why it's so intense. And it's such a strong burning process, because you're supposed to survive long enough to replicate and to reproduce your genetics. And nature wants you to reproduce. This is why this sensation is so powerful. I'm reminded to tell you this story that I experienced and a realization that I had in the Yogi Bishwanath's ashram. As I was there in New Zealand, and it's lots of forests there, and there's this one little particular area, and I'm walking up the hill and I'm just looking around, and there's thousands of plants, and I'm seeing the plants. And what is the plant's responsibility? Well, to sprout up, to survive, to gather its energy from the ground and from the sun, and then to reproduce. And the reproduction process for a plant is just like, it's a multiplication process. So whatever flowers that it has, it throws everything out. And not just one or two, hundreds, maybe even thousands sometimes. So nature survives long enough to reproduce. And the reproduction process is intense. And it's so liberal with its reproduction capability. Nature doesn't stifle or stop its desire for multiplication and reproduction. So if you look at a tree, that's what it is. It's just a giant multiplication factory. And similarly with you, because you're part of nature, and a human being is no different than a plant in this way, or in some sense. And you want to reproduce just as much as any living organism here on planet Earth, and you want to reproduce many, many times. So this is also why this fire burns, is to keep the human race going. And there's nothing wrong with that. Next, yes, the topic of porn and masturbation. Well, this is sexuality and sex done wrongly, badly, inappropriately. Maybe you know that you want to reproduce and you want to pass on your genes, and this is what the intention actually is. This is why you have these sensual thoughts and feelings and desires and lust. And yet you can't do it physically. Either you're incapable, incompetent, or maybe you just don't want to go through the hassle and the responsibility and all of the things that come with it. So these things are, with the advancement of technology, these things are online, and you do things with yourself, with your own body, in a way that's missing the mark. That's what the word sin, as far as I understand, what the word sin means. It's to miss the mark. Like you have a bow and arrow and you shoot the bow and arrow, the target is there, but you shoot somewhere in the opposite direction. You're missing it. You're missing the point. So you're missing the point if you do these things. It's not right to do these things. Not even morally right. It's just not the right thing to do. So stop it. Don't watch porn and don't masturbate. Next, shame. Yes, and these things also lead to shame. Watching porn and masturbating, it creates a lot of shame in your body. It naturally creates shame, not because it's some socially ingrained thing. No, you know it's the wrong thing to do. It is the wrong thing to do. Your body isn't rewarding you for doing this. Maybe 1 or 2 seconds of satisfaction or sensation you'll get, very positive and pleasant. But then the remainder of the time you're just filled with shame. Why? Because it's like you don't eat food just to puke it out. That would, you probably need some, you need to see a doctor if you're doing that. That's not the point of food. Similarly, it's not the point of you spilling your seeds everywhere for no reason. Nature wouldn't do that. Nature doesn't do that. So you will be punished with a very appropriate feeling or sensation, which is called shame. And sexuality, all of life is sexual energy. So what we call sexual energy is just Kundalini energy in essence, or is just life energy, and it's being expressed in a sexual way. So there really isn't anything specifically called sexual energy. There's loving energy, there's powerful energy, there's insightful energy, there is survival energy, and there's sexual energy. It's the same thing, the same light or the same energy, but finding different manifestations in the body. So the 7 chakras, that's what they are. The same energy is flowing through your body, but it's finding different means to express, different colors. Yes, different energy pathways are being expressed. So that's as much as I have to say about Kundalini and sexuality. Casual sex. Next, casual sex. Can sex be casual? No, not really. Because why? It's a reproductive act. And my friends and ladies and gentlemen, if you are having sex, it would be very wise for you to consider what would happen if this person were to become impregnated, or if this person impregnated me. Why? Because that's the purpose of this act. That's the purpose of sexuality. So if the answer is, oh my God, that would be horrible, you probably shouldn't be with this person. So there's nothing casual about sex. It's a very important and significant thing. You can't just casually have it. At least I don't see it. It doesn't work in my mind. Unless you have absolutely no standards, and if you're willing to sleep on the street, on the floor, in a 5-star mansion, and also in the dumpster, and if you're okay in all situations, fantastic. You should go and have all the casual sex you want. But if you're not okay with these things, you want pleasant environments and you don't want unpleasant environments, you probably should stay away from merging your energies with some strangers for no reason other than just to get a little bit of pleasure and satisfaction. And again, sexuality is not about pleasure, it's not about satisfaction. Nature is rewarding you for reproducing, because it's very important for nature for you to reproduce. So that's the thing about casual sex, nothing casual about it. Find yourself a partner, learn tantric sex. You can transcend the physical thing, and you can do something that connects your energies together, and you can also learn to circulate your own energy, and you don't necessarily need a partner for this. But hey, life is about experience and enjoyment and various things. So there's nothing wrong with having sex. There's nothing wrong with having a partner. There's nothing wrong with having these experiences. But there is something wrong with, I don't know, doing this if you don't know what the reason is, and just doing this for pleasure. That's not wise. You're missing the mark. Next, multiple partners. Well, my friends, from what I've seen, a man can have multiple partners, multiple people, multiple women. Let me approach it in a different way. From how I've observed nature, a man has the ability to reproduce and replicate many women, and a woman can only take in one man's sperm and semen. So the genetic code has been written that a man can have multiple partners, multiple wives, and a woman really can't have that possibility. She can if she turns away from that, but what am I trying to say? This is dangerous territory because so many things have been said about this, but still, I'm gonna share this with you. I'm gonna say this to you or to the camera, no matter what, no matter how I feel or no matter how this feels. That yes, as a man, you can have multiple wives, multiple women with you, but a woman, you can't really do that. And why? Because we're gonna leave this topic aside. I'll talk about this in a future date. Gay marriage. Is gay marriage okay? Is it sinful? Yes, it's okay. Nothing wrong. In my view, in my opinion, as long as you're not breaking the five moral precepts, as long as you're not hurting life in any way, it's okay to do whatever you feel like you need to do or want to do. And it's really none of my business what you do behind closed doors as consensual adults. Neither is it anyone else's business. Next, extinguishing the fires of lust. Yes. So lust is a fire, like I've talked about in the previous video. And no, I need to come back to this. I don't know why I feel so ashamed of saying this. I, as a man, want multiple women in my life, and I will. I don't know if I will, but that's my intention. That's where I'm heading towards, and that's what I'm saying here to you on camera. And I've said this to various people in the past, and people that know me, and they're horrified. What? Oh my God, oh my God. Look, if you're a woman, you can't have more than one man. That would be weird. If I had a girlfriend or if I had a wife, and then she brought another man into the room, I'd be like, buddy, who are you? What's going on here? You need to either leave or there's going to be a altercation between us. Why? Because I'm territorial. This is my territory. And yes, she's just like this. She's part of it. But if I'm a man and I bring a second woman into my wife is here and I bring a woman, I say, hey, Mary, this is Jane. And then Mary has a problem with Jane. Hey, you settle down. You settle down, and also you settle down. Okay? Why? Because again, it's my territory. You don't like it, there's the door. All right? That's very simple. Oh, what if the girl doesn't like it? Oh, this is not fair. Oh, it's very fair, actually. Okay? Because nature has designed you in this way. As a man, you have the ability to reproduce hundreds of women, not just one or two. Okay? I have this potential. I have the potential to reproduce basically with every single woman on planet Earth. That's how my body has been built. But you, as a woman, you have the potential to reproduce with one man or take in one man's sperm or energy. And it takes 9 months for you to cultivate that. So it's a little bit different, all right? That's the reason why the multiple partners and the difference between men and women. All right, good. I'm glad that we got that out of the way. Extinguishing the fires of lust. Well, if you're on the spiritual path and you don't know how to harness fire, and maybe the fire is too much or too great, and it's burning you and it's causing all sorts of problems and it's making you do compulsive things, then you need to be skillful in that way and learn to cool down the fire. How do you do that? I don't know. Go take a cold shower. Don't raise the fire unnecessarily. How do you raise the fire? You just look at something online, look at something that you shouldn't be looking at, something that's not natural. Or you pay attention to things outside that you really maybe shouldn't be paying attention to. Or you eat lots of sugary food or lots of ignorance food that also brings up the fires of lust. So these are the things that you want to avoid if you don't want this to overpower you. And yeah, very simple. So the Buddha talked about extensively how to extinguish the fires of lust, and I have extinguished the fires of lust in this context. Does this mean that I don't have lust? No, and I don't want to not have lust. I will continue to have lust. I love lust. It's a fantastic experience of life. It's The sexual desire is a wonderful feeling and something that nature is leading you towards something that's much greater. Similarly with hunger, similarly with tiredness, it's like you saying, oh, I want to, extinguish tiredness, or I want to, overcome tiredness or never be tired again. Buddy, that's not nature. That's not how life is. That's not how life works. Okay, sex is about replication, as we've already understood and established that sex is about reproducing. It's about you making a child. That's why you're having sex. That's the desire that you have. If you're having sex with a woman, essentially you're trying to impregnate her, and also you're trying to be impregnated if you're a woman. So that's what it is. I know it feels pleasant, but the pleasant aspect is only there for you to reward you. That it doesn't have a purpose of its own. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what Sadhguru also said. It doesn't have a purpose of its own. It doesn't have a purpose just for you to bind with people, which you are doing that. You're binding with people. Okay, this next thing that I've written down here is a little bit too intense for me to say. Also, I'm not going to say it. That's it. That's the end of this video, my friends. Thank you so much for watching. Wait, stay tuned. If you want to talk to me, if you want to reach out for my spiritual guidance and expertise, you can do so. The price is $120 Canadian. You send me the money on my PayPal link, which will be the first link down below. Afterwards, you contact me on Facebook or any other way you can contact me, and I will talk to you. I will chat with you, video call or whatever, and I will chat with you however long it takes. There's no time limit here, and I will help you to do whatever you want to do, and I'll help you to achieve whatever goals you have to achieve. And I'll help you to overcome any obstacles that you have, and help you to heal your life and to establish wisdom and strengthen you in spirituality and whatever else that it is that you want. And I'm capable of doing that and delivering on my promises. So shout out to me for providing this possibility for you. And thank you very much for all of those who have chosen to donate to me and chosen to speak with me in this way. As well as... yes, so you need to do this. Okay, you need to talk to me. Very important. Why? Is it because I'm going to help you in your life and things are going to be magically fixed for you? Potentially, yes, absolutely. But also because you want to get contact with me. If you get contact with me, many of your life situations can be solved by me, by my own energy. And I have the ability to reach far beyond what is my physical capability. That's as much as I'm willing to share about that. Join my Discord group. It's a spiritual Discord I have. It's lots of fun. Link will be down below. And as always, my friends, like this video if you enjoyed it. I'm sure you had lots of fun watching this and laughing as I burst out laughing. That's it. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. I'd be genuinely curious to hear your thoughts about this. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.